Good practice out there today. I thought the energy was good again. I think, we're still a little bit off in execution, but I think I think it'll come in the next 2 days. We got a good run through tomorrow and then a practice on Friday. And then I think we'll be able to clean up some of the things. I don't think there's a lack of effort. I think we're just with the new game plan and getting back into what we're doing. This team throws a lot at you, so we got a lot of things we got to make sure we get detailed up. Question.
Kyle, is it different than other weeks in terms of just not quite being there yet, or is this typical of a Wednesday?
I think it's typical of a game week. I think they do a lot of things. So they're very multiple on offense. They're multiple on defense. So it's not, you're not just blocking one front all week. You're not just fitting one formation all week. They're very well coached. So I don't think that this is abnormal.
Kyle, with so many injuries at one position group, cornerback, secondary, really, I guess. Is it more of a patchwork job this week? Can you count on two guys to take most of the snaps, or we have to use a deeper rotation than usual?
I don't know that we ever count on just two guys. There's always multiple guys playing. Usually no less than three. But we'll play the ones who are healthy and ready to go. Right now we've got probably four corners who play in the game between first, second down, and then the sub packages, and that's a good number. And I think every day we get a little bit healthier. So the healthier we get, the better we'll be. We'll have the right people out there. The other thing we did was we tried. I don't know. It won't affect us for this week, but we did move Vance Matthews over there to give us some more depth at corner, and he said he had played corner in high school and thought he could help us. So we said we'd give him a shot of it.
Seems like going back to last year, there's been a lot of injuries at corner. Is that just kind of a fluke thing? Is there something about the position that lends itself to that?
No, I don't think it is. If they were hamstring pulls, you might say, maybe that's they run a lot in practice, it happens. But I think we do a good job of warming them up and stretching them and being flexible, working on flexibility through the off season. So, no, I think they're just uncommon things that have happened to the same position group. So. Nothing that anybody else in the country is not dealing with. We happen to be dealing with it at that position. We lost a starting running back, but there's other teams around the country that have lost starters too. So I think that's just part of the attrition of the football season.
Are you comfortable with Gleason as your main punter at this point, or your assessment of him too after 4 games?
I'm pleased with what Timmy did last week. So being pleased with what he did last week, I would give him the opportunity to do it again this week, and I would not rule out using two punters. Because I think Joe has certain things that he'll do for us that'll be useful as we go. But I'm pleased with how we performed last week.
At running back, are you seeing Josh Hicks or Robert Martin both kind of step into the moment?
Right now, I would say it's both. Now, playing four is not easy. So we'll see as we get closer to game time how we'll get that sorted out. But I'm very pleased with how those guys have worked. They've kind of split time between the scout team and the first team, and they're getting reps on both sides, and that allows us to give the defense the right look because Tulane's got talented running backs.
Is that tough for a freshman to do, to bounce back and forth in the middle of a practice?
I don't think so. They just got to read a card when they go over to the other side. So they don't have to necessarily learn anything on the other side. They just have to have the ball handed to them or catch a pass or something like that.
Can you elaborate a little on the Vance Matthews? Was it your idea? Was it his idea? And how's he looked?
No, it was his idea. He came to me last night. And he said, Coach, I think I could help the team. I said, and with Andre being healthy, you're really going to be a little bit limited in terms of offensive reps. So it's the right time to try it if we're going to do it. So, yeah, I like that. When you got players on your team that come to you and say, hey, Coach, I think I can help. Those are the right kind of kids. You get the right kind of people in your program.
Another day with Liston working to prepare in case he has to start. How has he kind of looked as the week has gone on?
I'm pleased so far. I'm pleased with the way he's worked this week. I think he's had good attention to detail. He's playing with good effort, and we think he's a good football player. So this may or may not be his opportunity to show us on game day how much he can really do at that middle linebacker spot.
So Snyder was kind of right with the coaches all game last game. What was that like having him there in that role?
It helps, and it helps because he's one more set of eyes on the sideline that knows what to look at. I don't know that that'd be the case for any player, a lesser experienced player. They'd be good for morale. I don't know how good they'd be for information, but somebody like Kevin is pretty good for information, and I don't know that you can have enough sets of eyes when you play a team like that.
Time for two more. Have you seen any effects of not having a bye at this point? Traditionally, you would normally have a bye at this point. I think I asked you a couple of weeks ago about that, but have you seen any effects of not having your traditional bye?
No, and I would tell you that every year when you look at the schedule, you have to map it out to handle the schedule. There are certain things when you have multiple bye weeks early, you may do more of something and less of something else. And when you don't, you just got to make sure you manage your team on a week-to-week basis. You lay it out ahead of time, but you can't just lay the schedule out 6 months ahead of time and then not be aware of what's going on in your own football team and what's going on in the games that you're playing and the type of games that you're playing. And I think as long as you manage that, there shouldn't be effects on your team. You should be ready to go on Saturdays.
Kyle, your front four, is it getting the pressure you thought, more pressure than you thought, or what's your on that?
When given the opportunity to rush the passer, I would say they're getting the pressure that I thought we would. The key to that is to get into those situations. You got to get to those must-pass situations. But when we've gotten to them, probably in past years we've used more pressures than we have some four-man rush. This year we've been able to do it a little bit more with four-man rush. So I think that's good. That says the right things about the guys we have up front. Thank you.
I can tell you the media is feeling the effects of no bye, by the way.